Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be going over who I think is going to make the playoffs AFC edition this time. As I told you before, I did the NFC edition first, and I'm going to do the AFC because I want to, just because I just have the passion for doing this stuff, so I'm going to do it. These are the teams I think that are going to make the playoffs in their seeding range. So, yeah. The number 1 seed, I have the Chiefs. I think they're going to be 13-4. I think the Chiefs are a really good team as of late. And I think they will continue that for the rest of the season. The Chiefs will have to keep the good offense going for them to make the first seed. And playing at home for all the playoffs should be huge for them. Like the playoff games should be huge. For every game that they play, they can be at home until they get to the Super Bowl. Or if they get to the Super Bowl, I should say. So it's a nice home field advantage for the Chiefs. So, yeah, and I think Patrick Mahomes, I think he should have a great rest of the season. I don't see why he wouldn't, because he's a great player, so I don't see why he wouldn't have a great rest of the season. I think Tyreek Hill is going to do good. Kelsey, I think, is going to do amazing. McCall Hardman's been a disappointment, but that's kind of been how it is for the past couple of seasons. So, yeah, it's kind of the Chiefs. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, CEH, he really has not been that good. He's been pretty bad, actually. So I don't expect them to be running the ball a whole ton in these next few weeks. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, that's what I think the Chiefs are going to do. I think they're going to be the first seed. Just because. But yeah. The second seed, I have the Patriots at 11-6. The Patriots are back in a big way. So they get that second seed in my mind. And the Patriots should be able to stay consistent for the rest of the season. With the defense, they kind of have to step up to continue the streak of winning, because against the Colts, they kind of got embarrassed on defense. I think Mac Jones played pretty decently. But, yeah, I just think that defense gave up way too many points, obviously. But J.C. Jackson is going to have to be crucial for the Patriots to be able to win some of these games, because he's going to have to be able to lock down some receivers. And I think he's done that before, so he can probably continue that. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to. So, yeah, it's kind of an interesting one. With the Patriots at the second seed with 11-6, I feel like the AFC is a lot weaker this year than the NFC is. In terms of, how could you explain this? Just the picture of the playoffs, you could say. Because I feel like a couple of teams are already locked in for the playoffs. So, yeah. Yeah, and I think the Patriots going to do good, so, yeah. The number 3 seed, I got the Titans at 11-6. I think the Titans are going to get Derrick Henry back at the end of the season. So they could still make a big push to secure the division. The Colts will try and win the division, but the Titans have already beaten them twice. That's gonna make it so much harder for the Colts to win the division. I don't even know if they can at this point. But it's just the Colts and the Titans really in that division for the next couple of years. But I think Derrick Henry is gonna have to literally carry this team on his back to be able to win that division, because it's tough. Like, the Titans face some pretty tough opponents in my mind. Well, I shouldn't say in my mind, because I didn't check their schedule, but I think they do play some tough opponents, so I gotta be ready for the Titans to have a downfall. Go 2-1 for the last few weeks, which is fine, but it's just all talk until it actually happens, so, yeah. But I just think the Titans have enough capability to get that number 3 seed, which I think is a really good place to be in if you're an NFL team and you're in the playoffs. I think it's just 3rd seed's like you're above average and you're able to win your division, which is really what you need. So, yeah. I have the number 4 seed being the Cincinnati Bengals, 10-7. The Bengals kind of have a must-win game against the Ravens next week to secure the division lead so they can get that 4th seed. The Bengals will need to keep the lead so they can at least get one game with home field advantage. Really, they just need to keep that division lead right now, because if not, that's going to become very bad for them, and they could even fall to like the 7th seed, which you don't want to do because you'll never be at home in the playoffs no matter what. 4th seed, you at least get one game, maybe even 2. At the highest, it's 2, but yeah. Yeah. I think Joe Burrow was going to play well, so there is that. But I think a lot of people are going to play well, so it's kind of hard just to predict this because you don't know how the rest of the season is going to go. And I think the Bengals are going to be able to do what they need to do to get the job done. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting team to watch for the last few weeks. The number 5 seed, I got the Chargers at 11-6. I believe that the Chargers are going to win out, which gets on the 5th seed for the playoffs. I think Herbert will play amazing for the rest of the season just because he has so many weapons around him. And you got a good head coach in my mind, so that's going to make it a lot easier on Herbert, which I'm fine with because I like Herbert as a quarterback. I like him as a player and just how he elevates that Chargers offense. I also think Austin Eckler is going to play well because he's going to get a lot of volume with Herbert passing the ball, which is going to get him a lot of fantasy points, so you're probably going to see him on my leaderboards for the next couple of weeks too. Mike Williams has been amazing this season in terms of contested catches. He's been mossing everyone, and I'm really hoping to see that continue this season because that's fun to watch. Keenan Allen, he's just been getting a ton of catches, and that leads to touchdowns and a lot of yards, so I'm completely fine with that because I got him on like 3 of my fantasy teams. He's the GOAT. Derwin James, I think he's played pretty modest this season. I haven't really followed the Chargers on defense, really. I haven't really watched them when they're on defense, just mainly when they're on offense. But Joey Bosa, I know, has been insane. And I'm really hoping he can continue that because I like Joey Bosa. I like the Chargers as a whole. I like the organization. I like that team. So, I'm really hoping they can continue that and make the playoffs because that would be fun to see. In the number 6 seed, I got the Buffalo Bills, with them being 11-6. I think the Bills are just barely going to miss out on the division title, and Bill Belichick and the Patriots hold on to that division title, which is going to be really important later down the line, because if the Patriots and the Bills meet, then the Patriots are going to be at home, which really helps the Patriots. But the Bills will have to play amazing to keep a playoff spot available for themselves, because the AFC is really crowded right now. And the Bills, I believe, will have a great rest of the season, so I think they're going to reserve that 6th seed for themselves and get into it and make sure they can have a chance at winning that Super Bowl. And I think that's what making the playoffs is about. You got to play for that Super Bowl, or you're just a pretender, and you're not there to contend. The next one, I got the number 7 seed, the Ravens. I just think they're going to be abysmal. But there isn't another AFC team that I want to put there. So I think the Ravens can hold on. They're going to be 9-8. I just think the Ravens will sneak into the playoffs by pure luck. I don't think they're going to play well. The modest record, the Ravens will have to pull it together to be able to make the playoffs because they got a tough upcoming schedule. I also think the Browns could sneak in here and knock out the Ravens from the playoffs. I just don't think this is really going to be a player that plays well for the Ravens for the rest of the season. Maybe Mike Andrews, but that's kind of it. That's why I didn't put a picture of a guy here. But if the Browns make it, I'm kind of cheering for the Browns to make it because I just don't want the Ravens to be in it because a little guy on TikTok named Wee Hoopin's really obnoxious about his Ravens. But the Browns, I just think, are the better team right now. And I'd like to see them continue more than the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, that kind of wraps it up. But thank you guys for watching and have a great rest of your day. And this little 2-part series has been pretty fun. So, yeah, see you next time.